Guys, I finally did it. I finally beat that damn game. And God only knows how long it took me. Right, nurse? How long did it take me? See? Guys, this was a really, really tough game, but somehow I managed to pull through with my perseverance, toughness, gaming skill, and really large vocabulary for swear words. Yeah. But it is me, the gaming Dr. Mother, and today we'll look at my next patient, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. So as always, whenever we begin my reviews, it is my obligation as your doctor to start off with the history. So let us get into the history of this beautiful game. So this game was initially revealed in 2017 at the Game Awards. We were not really given much, just a teaser trailer with the words Shadows Die Twice. And this left the whole world in speculation. We did not know what game this was. Was it another Tenchu game? Was it something else that we didn't know? No one knew. All that we knew was that this game was being developed by From Software and being produced by Activision. It wasn't until 2018 at E3 at Microsoft's conference where we finally got the full name of this game, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, a Soulsborne game which came from the same people who perfected this genre. Here we were shown a lot of gameplay and the aesthetic of this game as well. We were also shown the kind of style and physicality that the character would have. And it wasn't until March 22nd, 2019 where this game was finally released to us. And yes, this game may be old, but it aged like a fine wine. So let us go now into the presentation of this game of Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Shut up, nurse. In the 17th century, Lord Ishin launches a coup that takes control of the land of Ashina. The war ravages the country. On the battlefield, a little boy walks across the bloody ground, where he comes across the owl, a large shinobi warrior who raises his sword towards the boy. The boy doesn't cower, he simply grips the blade. Owl, taken aback by this, adopts this boy and raises him to be a fine shinobi, naming the boy Wolf. As time goes by, Owl realizes that he's told Wolf everything he knows. He sends him to his new master, Kuro, an immortal boy with the power of the dragon heritage, a power that everyone in the kingdom seems to seek. At this point in time, Ishin Ashina has also grown old. His power is also waning, and the Interior Ministry, a group taking over the country, is starting to close in on his land. During this time of conflict, we find that bandits take advantage of the situation as the soldiers are out on the battlefield. They go and proceed to invade Kuro's home. Only one person can stop them: Wolf. As Wolf proceeds through the home of his master, he comes across his adopted father, dying in a garden in front of the palace. Here is where his father gives him his final command to defend Kuro from the invading bandits and from any other conflict that he might face. He comes across the final conflict against the person he had once trusted. They fight, and as Wolf wins the battle, he is stabbed in the back by an unknown assailant. But we find Kuro comes to his aid. He gives Wolf the one thing everyone has been fighting for: his own blood. With this, Wolf becomes immortal and lives on to tell his tale. 3 years pass, and we find that Wolf is in an abandoned well. Here is given a message that his master, Kuro, still needs his help. Immediately, Wolf sets off to find Kuro and takes him to a place where he thinks he will be safe. However, during this time, he comes across Genichiro, Ishin's adopted grandson. Genichiro, realizing that his grandfather is getting old and weak, realizes that the Interior Ministry is coming close and he needs the power of Kuro to make his army an immortal one. He kidnaps Kuro and fights you as he slices off your hand in a battle that honestly took me 5 seconds because I was really pathetic at it. We find that Wolf wakes up in the home of a craftsman who gives him the prosthetic arm to continue on his journey to save his master. And this is how the story is set up. But anyway, let us now proceed to the signs and symptoms of this game. The gameplay in this game is hard. Not that it's unfair. The game works smoothly, it's perfect, but you will get killed a lot. Believe me, I struggled like hell through this game. Every enemy scared me because I didn't know what they'll do. I didn't know how to counter. This game is not like other Soulsborne games where you usually dodge or use a shield. It has a counter system that you have to use perfectly with great timing actually. Once you learn the patterns, it does get better, but still, enemies will surprise you here and there. There are many times where I thought I figured out an enemy and I'll just die and really die. But once I got into my groove, I really love this game. In terms of the visuals, this game is beautiful. I won't lie, I really enjoyed every place I visited. Enemies, surprisingly, are very, very confusing and tough to figure out. But once you do, there's no greater feeling than defeating any of them. One boss I honestly didn't have as much of its difficulty on was the giant, and I saw a lot of people dying on it, and I was like, I think it took me like 3 or 4, not 5 attempts to kill him because he's actually kind of slow, and I'm not trying to show off, but I found him quite fun and easy to kill. Other than that, most of the characters are very, very tough, especially one bastard in this corner that whenever I triggered him would knock me out in a few seconds. The bosses are very creative. Yes, they all have their own patterns, but that's what I liked about it. They would all slash you, but it wasn't the same as just block, 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 block. It was meaningful. It meant something. Yes, you can block continuously, but there's a stamina bar at the bottom. If that stamina bar gets full, your guard will break and leads you to devastating attacks. And honestly, this game you can die in like 1 to 2 slashes sometimes, depending on how your strength is and which enemy you're facing. What I loved about this game is that as much as you would die, when you finally figure it out, you get such a feeling of euphoria that you cannot believe. Most games these days are very simple. Yes, you die here and there, but this one makes you actually feel guilty about it. When you die, you have what we call dragon rot. This affects the NPCs in the game, meaning that the more you die, the more they get sick, or the more people get sick. But it's really fun when you learn the patterns and when you learn how to utilize all the moves, all the medicines, all the items. Oh, and be careful, items in this game are very, very important. I've had many games where I just have 1,000 items and I've never used a single one. But this one, please make sure you use them. It's really going to help you out and make your game a lot more simple. The leveling system is also very entertaining. You learn different skills and moves and you build your character based on that. You will not be able to get everything during your first playthrough, but I only played through it once. I honestly have a lot of games and I play by myself, so unlike other leveling systems in Dark Souls games, when you die, you can't go back and collect it from the enemy that killed you. You will lose it. However, in this one, you can bank your experience a lot more easier, I feel, than in other Dark Souls games. You will also lose a certain amount of money as you die. Usually a certain percentage, but I'm not quite sure exactly how much. But it does get frustrating when you start losing all your cash and dying a lot, but when you get used to an area, you find places to farm as always. In terms of my gripes, yes, there were a few times where I had a few cheap deaths where I know I parried. Yeah, it didn't really register, and yes, a few times I got lost. I didn't know where to go, and once in a while I had to check, hey, I've done this, where am I supposed to go next? Because yes, the NPCs in this game do give you hints of what to do next, but it's still a little bit confusing here and there. Plus, there are a lot of secrets in this game that honestly you might need a guide for because you will not know how to do these things otherwise. Other than that, it was a very good gaming experience. I really don't have that many complaints about it. Anyway, I've talked a lot about this game. Let us now move on to my diagnosis. So Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. A game that I was curious about but I was afraid of, intimidated by the whole Get Good community. But honestly guys, give it a shot. Don't be afraid about this whole Get Good thing. It's about giving yourself time. to learn the intricacies of this game, the ins and outs. You will eventually adapt and learn how to get good at this game. It just comes naturally. It's not about being punished to death. It's just about giving it a chance and actually being patient with yourself. That's one of the great things that this game taught me. That even though you might hit a roadblock, if you keep pushing, you will actually get through at one point. There are many times you will get blocked, but I swear, if I can do it, so can you. So when it comes to my diagnosis, I'll say this is a supreme patient. Yes, supreme. This patient has nothing major wrong with it. I know it's hard and everything, but that's what I love about it. That it's different. It's not trying to be an Assassin's Creed. It's not trying to be an Uncharted. It has its own genre and its own fans. And once you really get into it, it's actually quite addictive. So for me, I heard from a bunch of friends that they were struggling to finish this game. And I just found a copy, and like Barney Stinson, I just said, hey, challenge accepted. And that challenge was worth the while. So guys, give this game a shot. And let's move on to recommendations. In terms of recommendations, there's nothing really much I can say. Everything about this game was really, really well put together. It's not repetitive. It never does feel repetitive. It feels like you're getting into a groove, into emotion, into everything that this game wants to teach you. And when you become really good at it, when you figure out how to beat that bloody monkey, you'll just smile and realize that, yeah, I did that. So shout out to the game director, Hidetaki Miyazaki, for a great game, and your whole group of developers who made this game. I really loved it, and I pray that you continue to shoot out quality games like that. Soon, guys. Real soon. Before I close off, I'm going to give you a gaming recommendation. Please check out The Angry Joe Show. This is a really fun show, and honestly, they have the most entertaining game reviews I've seen in a long time. Give them a subscribe and a like, and tell them that I sent you to join their angry army. It's really, really fun. I watch them all the time. All their parodies are really fun. I don't have that kind of production value here, so it's just me and my office and my nurse, who's a douchebag sometimes. One more thing before I go, guys, I've reached 81 subscribers, and I know that is the tiniest amount a guy can reach, but in 4 videos, 81 subscribers, and people are watching my stuff, thank you. Like, really, thank you. Like, nurse, say thank you. See, even the nurse likes you, and I'm paying him. He doesn't like me. So yeah, thank you so much. Please let us grow this channel more. You guys are awesome, and I'm so thankful and happy that all of you are supporting me in Malawi, and I appreciate it. So I pray that we can get further, and yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, guys, on to the next patient.